Hannah Bellinghausen here with Pete Crow-Armstrong. Pete, welcome to the AAA level. What was that reaction when you heard you were coming up here?
It was nice. My AA manager, Kevin Graver, called me into the office after our Sunday game in Huntsville, playing Rocket City. And it was brief. He got right to the point. He said, "Hey, we're calling you up," and I felt a sense of relief, I guess. But we still have under 2 months left in the year, so I was like, let's go play some more baseball.
I know you've developed a lot with your swing, especially after your surgery. What specifically have you worked on?
Oh man, I would say initially after surgery it was more mechanical tweaks and whatnot. But I think over the last season and a half it's been pitch selection and really figuring out who I am as a hitter. And Males has kind of painted a really good picture for me of who I am as a hitter and what I can handle and what I can't. And I think that's made my life a lot easier in the box, and I feel more peaceful in the box because of it.
You went through that torn labrum at the age of 19, obviously very young to deal with something like that and ending a season. How much motivation went into that rehab process for you?
A lot. I went through a lot of growing pains. It was the first time I had baseball taken away from me for a significant amount of time, and I think I learned a lot about myself. And I think once I found my groove in the rehab process and transitioning into Arizona and the Cubs complex, I felt like I was okay, and I felt very comfortable going and joining the Cubs. And circumstances aside, we had a lot of guys in rehab, 40-something, and so I made some quick friends, and guys I got to play with and see them kind of get through that process as well is really cool.
Speaking of that transition to the Cubs, you were part of the Javier Baez trade. You grew up a Cubs fan, idolizing this guy, and you're in a trade for him. How surreal was that?
Surreal. I didn't quite believe it at first at all. I think it really sunk in when I got to Arizona, but then it was time to get back to rehab and finish my work and focus on getting back on the field. But super special. Nice to share that with my parents too. They happened to be in town when I got traded, so crazy stuff.
I want to talk about your parents as well. Both actors. You grew up in California. Your mom was in Little Big League, played the mother in the movie. Do you ever talk about how crazy that is?
Not so much with her. It's funny though, it plays on MLB Network sometimes, so I'll always flip it on. And certain people that I've actually come across in my baseball career, from Tony Todd, who played Mickey Scales. He was around kind of a lot of my young amateur career, and even Michael Ryan, my AA manager, the beginning of this year, he was an extra in that. So nice getting to kind of like let that be known and figure those kind of things out. But Jenny Haywood is a good baseball movie character for sure. It's a good one. It's a good one.
And then growing up in Southern California, where was your first love for baseball at?
Sherman Little League. I guess Van Nuys, VNS. Like, I played T-ball from like 3 to 4 to 5, whatever it was, and transitioned into Sherman Little League. Jack Flaherty's run through there. We've had some people come out of there, and I definitely fell in love there. I had certain coaches when I was younger that really kind of showed me how to love baseball, and I think I developed a lot of my feel and passion for it there.
Well, this game's taken you to pretty awesome places, 2 Futures games. You introduced yourself to Ken Griffey Jr. the first time, and then you had a conversation with him this last time. What did you guys talk about?
A lot of things aside from baseball, funny enough. I kind of got a little insight to who he is as a dad, and we know some similar people, and it was kind of just nice to kind of humanize him in a way. I mean, that's something that I've idled for just about my whole life, and kind of getting to hear him talk about things other than baseball was cool. But I picked his brain a little bit, and he was just super gracious with his time, and that was a pretty surreal moment.
Now you get to be a little bit of a veteran, so you're up in AAA. I know you're 21 years old, you're still young, but I want to give a shout out to Drew Bowser, who's just starting this career with the Chicago Cubs. You knew him out in California. What can you say just about that guy and what kind of ball player he is?
Drew B is amazing. I'm going to let him know now that I am a vet, now that you said that. I would have never imagined that we'd end up in the same organization this quickly. It's kind of hard to put into words. He's he's one of the most talented baseball players I've seen, and I mean, from 7, 8 years old, that guy was top of the line, and you know, I've enjoyed seeing his process and seeing how he's going to figure things out, and I think him being here is a good spot for sure.
Have you envisioned what your major league debut will be like?
No, I try not to think about that. I feel like I'll get impatient if I think too much on that, but. Gosh, yeah, I don't even know my walkout song yet. You know, it's hard enough for me to pick those. So, an ideal day, I guess, would just be having my mom and my dad there, and you know, my high school coach. That'd be enough for me.